I'm using ChatGPT and all these other things so much that to me, it's just like, okay, this is just the new Google. It's the new way of life. But business owners aren't there yet. So
Right.
for any business owners listening to this, you need to be creating a ton of content, multiple posts per day on every topic you can think of, including YouTube videos with YouTube videos that answer search questions.
Welcome to the Sharpen the Spear podcast, where we help home service pros cut through the noise, sharpen their business tools, and reclaim the profit, freedom, and impact they've been missing. I'm your host, Richard Walsh, Profit Freedom Coach, and I'm here to help you stop grinding and start growing. Let's sharpen the spear. And we are back on STS Sharpen the Spear podcast with another incredible guest. I've got Dan Peterson in the house, well, the virtual house. And Dan, as we always do on STS, no one knows Dan like Dan. So, Dan, give us the backstory, bring us up to speed, and we will get into our conversation.
Well, first, thanks for having me on, Richard. I appreciate it. This is going to be a good conversation. I can already tell just based on our chit chat before we went live here. So, I guess for your audience to know, the most important thing about me for this purpose would be I am a serial entrepreneur, husband, father of three daughters, and someone who just loves to build and grow businesses. It's a passion of mine, and I enjoy helping other business owners. So I founded my company, which is Flip Switch. We are a digital marketing agency. I started that 13 years ago as the time we're talking here. So 2012 to be exact. And we've worked with thousands of business owners and mom and pop to Fortune 500 across the board, coast to coast for the last 13 years and counting. So it's been a fun ride, but we're still trucking along here. It only gets bigger and bigger with digital. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a digital marketing. I mean, we can talk a lot about that, because I always put the caveat when someone says marketing, that's a really big umbrella. Okay,
for
so
sure.
there's all these specialties, specificities inside marketing, right? So I'd love to kind of dive in specifically what you guys do, what you offer, kind of what's the parameters, what's the range of what you do, what you offer, just to give people a taste of something different, right?
Yeah.
Because we've had a lot of different people on.
Yeah. I appreciate the opportunity to do that. So in a nutshell, there's two halves to Flip Switch. One half is we do the full service marketing for a business. So we're doing the posting. Let me preface this by saying we are a social media first agency, which means that we believe that social media is the core of what we are trying to accomplish for that business. And then we build out around that, so to speak. So we back to my point, we're two parts to the business. The first half is we do everything for you: posting, monitoring, content creation, videos, video editing, all of that, ads, everything. The other half is we coach businesses on how to do it internally. So I know you have a lot of service tradesman type audience listening here. Um, that's one where a lot of times there's somebody in the business, whether they're younger or older, doesn't matter, but they're relatively savvy with their digital skills, and they can take a phone and go out and do some stuff and do a little editing or whatnot. In that case, it's prudent to have them handle some of that and take 10, 20 minutes a day. We provide the blueprint for them. So we do the coaching, give them a blueprint, they execute it for the month. The next month we review it, rinse, repeat, month to month, and that's how the coaching goes. And it's taken off like gangbusters in the last couple of years. I can't say enough good things about the coaching, to be honest, and I enjoy it. I'm the one doing most of it right now, so I love it, and I think it's a really good value for people that already have some kind of social media chops.
Yeah,
But
Dan, it's interesting, Dan, because I haven't, I've been around a bit. I've really heard someone like coaching how to do that, right? Like, because I've been through it. I've been around, well, pre-internet, obviously, and then during,
mhm.
and then around when you started this business, 2012. So 2011, 2012, I have a gym at the time, right? So I had a gym, and I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, social media, I'm going to try to do this stuff. But what a disaster from whoever I hired. You just, if you don't know, like I knew nothing. So, oh, it's $500 a month. And then they just like post once or twice of the stuff
Yeah,
I give them. Like I
Yes.
basically did all the work. I'm like, well, what am I paying you for? Like to
Yeah.
really like put that in there. So now, and I get it now. Now you look at today, you jump ahead, whatever it's been, 15 years, whatever, and you're like, oh, like it's very different. The ability to do things on your own is easier in a lot of aspects, right? They've kind of found, even the podcasting. It's really
Oh,
easy
for
to do a
sure.
podcast. 2013, I tried to do a podcast. It's just too much technical. It was just like, this is not worth it. So I
Yeah,
didn't do
you
it.
needed a whole studio and a crew and
Right.
everything back then.
I waited till
Right.
2020. Then I launched one in 2020. And that went great. But I love the aspect that because no one was coaching me how to do it. They were, we'll do it for you, pay us this.
Yeah.
That was your options. I know for a fact in 2013, nobody was doing that.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
they'll talk about it. They'll tell you what you should do. You know, get my little course. Okay. But no, I'm going to rant a little bit. Like you get a course, like courses are okay. And I
Hmm.
get it. You're a coach. I'm a coach. Okay. I coach high level stuff, I business and everything. Like the course is great if you really absolutely, I say only do the course to learn something. It's actually not going to make you do it well.
That's
Right.
true.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
No team operates without a coach.
Correct.
Okay. No one's improving their skills really without a coach to a significant degree. Right. So those things are cool, but I'd rather have that plus the coach. Give me
Yeah.
things to do and then review me, critique me, kick me around a little bit, punch me in the mouth. It's okay. And then keep me going down the road. Right.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we do. So there's all different skill sets out there, right? There's different levels. Some people are very new to it, even
Mhm.
though it's been around for almost 20 years now. And then other people are super savvy. And so the range of what we do in the coaching environment goes a lot beyond even just social media. Like we get into all areas of business. We have some clients, we've done door hanger campaigns for them for like a micro campaign right around their business.
Mhm.
We've done everything you can think of from programmatic TV stuff to flyer design. I mean, it's not just digital, but when it comes down to it, showing people and helping coach them on how to create content that actually gets people's attention and stops the scroll on the phone
Right.
is kind of what we do. And then taking that to the next level with a strategy. That's where most business owners fail. And most of them don't even start with the content creation process because they don't know what to post. That's what we hear the most. They're like, well, I have some time. I don't even know what to start with. Like, what do I even do? So we start high level. We come up with a strategy, then we break it out systematically for them. And really, I mean, literally give them check boxes to check off. And because we make it so systematic and so simple for them to do it, they can actually execute it. And by executing it, it gets done. And when it gets done, then we have results we can measure, and then we can proceed and progress and get better. Or I should say, they can proceed and progress and get better hand in hand with us. So that's kind of how that works. But yeah, to your point, I mean, years ago, nobody was doing
No.
well, nobody's doing anything. We still run across people today in 2025 that don't have Facebook pages. It's like, how are you marketing yourself if you're not on the basic platforms? I get it if you don't have TikTok or you don't have Snapchat or something, but
Yeah.
to not have like Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn across the board is
Yeah.
just a huge waste. And YouTube too. And I'm going to go on a side tangent, if I may, for one
Yeah.
second. If you're in the service industry right now, and this applies to everybody, but again, to your core listener group, man, having a YouTube channel that is robust, that shows what you do, but also shows your expertise and why you do it and how you do it. There's no trade secrets out there. You're not giving anything away. Nobody's
Right.
going to go roof their own house or do their own plumbing. I mean, if it's minor plumbing stuff, great. But most of the time, people are going to hire an expert. And you can either be the one that they Google and they find and they search for, and there you are with all your expertise and all your videos and all your content, or you can not, and they're going to call the guy that does. So I can't say enough good things about YouTube. It's the second largest search engine. It's part of Google. It's just huge. So for this industry or anybody really listening to this, they should have a YouTube channel and a robust one at that.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I'm glad you said like you're not giving away any secrets. People get
Right.
all like listen, dude. You didn't invent plumbing.
Right.
Okay. You might know some tricks. And I always had this too. I remember decades ago, I'm building my water features. I'm like, I'm the best there is. Just saying. I'm really great at what I do. As a man, win awards, I'm in magazines. I'll say, well, I'm in like Home Depot and I'm looking at these do-it-yourself books. And I'm asking, like, well, why are they showing people what to do? Like,
Yeah.
that's what they do. And then, like 20 seconds later, I'm like, oh, because the people who are going to do it themselves are never going to hire me.
Right. They're
They're
going to do it
never going to
themselves
hire
anyway.
me. Right.
That's right.
So I'm like, but you build authority. I've
100%.
written a book on, I wrote Escape the Owner Prison. I have a best-selling book on this, on doing a business. So I'm like, I realized that long ago, like, okay, I get it now. Like, you want to
Yeah.
show people, because people, well, I started doing seminars for landscapers, okay, like how to build water features. So like people are like,
Okay.
dude, that's literally your competition. I go, well, it's not, because first they can't compete with me artistically and like in actually what I
Mhm.
do. I said, but everything they build leaks. Okay. It's ruining the industry. Okay. So
Interesting.
all I want them is to build it correctly. Do whatever you want artistically. Okay. Again, I'm not
Just
worried
do
about
it
that,
right.
but just do it so people like enjoy it, so they'll actually hire me. Because
Yeah.
35% of my business was fixing other people's mistakes, and that's how much
Yeah,
people
I
love
believe it
water
though.
features, so
Right.
it's that confidence in not just your ability, but like it can't be a threat. And that's why
Right.
I love you said that. And I think you're right. YouTube, dude, I've been saved. Like if I got to fix something on a car, something simple, like
Hmm.
air cabin filter,
Yeah.
the simplest thing, which is literally
It's
like
about as easy as it
three
gets, right?
3 by 4 inches, right? But where is it? How do
Hmm.
you get it out? Okay. It's like you
Yep.
got to show me you actually got to pull this apart, not squeeze it together and then like, but that right there, boom, I did
That's
it.
it.
So I would it's like, oh, because I would have broke it.
Well,
It'd be
and yeah, and I'll take this a step further. So, two things that I want to talk about on this topic because I think it's important for people moving forward. One thing that FlipSwitch is really positioning itself, and me as the owner and CEO of FlipSwitch, I'm positioning myself to be as big of an expert as I can possibly be in AI. And the way this is working, this is funny. We're going to listen back to this in 3 to 6 months. I'm not even going to say years. It's going to be a few months from now, and it's already going to be outdated. But as of right now, almost the start of August, July, or the end of July, start of August 2025, where we're at with AI right now is there are different types of search rankings and different types of AI agents that are contributing to search. So if you are a plumber, a roofer, siding, windows, whatever you do, or any business for that matter, um, you need to be creating a massive amount of content that answers all of the search queries and questions that you can possibly answer because the AI agents like Google Gemini, ChatGPT, all of them, Claude, Anthropic, any whatever you use, they are searching all of the content out there. I actually coined a term online content optimization. So it's not search engine optimization anymore. It's online content optimization. And that's what we talk about is OCO, which is these agents searching everything you do out there. So social media posts, podcasts that you're on. I check this out. I had it do a search for Dan Peterson. And it's like, oh, which one do you want? There's one that lives in Frankfurt, Illinois, that's an entrepreneur. And I said that one. And then it gave me a rundown about myself, including things that I had said on podcasts like 2 years ago, somewhere on some podcast, and it brought it into the mix. So it had listened to the podcast I'd been on, found everything about me, and created a summary in a matter of 10 seconds and presented it to me with dead on accuracy, even talking about my kids, everything. It was the craziest thing. Now looking at it, this is just a couple months ago when I did this. Now looking at it, just a couple months later, it's just commonplace now.
right.
I'm using ChatGPT and all these other things so much that to me it's just like, okay, this is just the new Google, it's the new way of life. But business owners aren't there yet. So
Right.
for any business owners listening to this, you need to be creating a ton of content, multiple posts per day on every topic you can think of, including YouTube videos with YouTube videos that answer search questions. So if you're a plumber, how to fix my toilet flange, how to change, if you're an electrician, how to change LED light bulbs without such, whatever. Like it could be the most simple things. Because to your point, Richard, they're not going to call for that stuff the people that are going to call anyway, and the ones that are going to fix it themselves are going to fix it anyway.
Yep.
There's already 100,000 videos out there that show you how to fix all of those things I just talked about. Do you want to be the company that comes up in rankings when they look for you so that your brand is present? Or do you want them to go to use a different video, to watch a different video? Even though they might not call that company in, some other state because that's the video they watched that gave them the answer, still, wouldn't you rather them have the option to call you because they found your videos that answer their questions? So it's very simple, but it's time consuming, and I get why businesses don't do it. But then that's
Yeah,
where we come in.
yeah, and I'm glad you brought this up. I've been hitting that a lot, doing a lot in AI lately and stuff, and speaking on it and driving my businesses with it, right? And my clients,
For sure.
like showing, because they think what do I need that for? AI can't sweat pipe. It can't do that. I'm like, no, you don't understand. We're not using it for that. Okay. We're
Right.
using it for your business, the
Yeah.
business side of business. Okay. Not the doing part. Right. Very different. It's very, very different, and from lead generation and everything else. But like, man, and it is so amazing what
It's
we're
incredible.
doing. I mean, I've talked about this on the numerous podcasts, but it's a field leveler. It levels that playing field, man.
Yes.
You now, and I'll say it again, as you could be a five-man operation, a 10-man operation, you can compete with guys who have 100 because
For
of
sure.
that. It
Yep.
changes everything. Like
Well,
people have to grip that. They got to get a hold of that and go, okay, tell me more. How do
yes,
I do
that's right.
that?
That's exactly right. And that's a good point, not just for the AI side of things, but social media in general has leveled the playing field. You have companies out here that literal teens or early 20 somethings are starting that are competing at scale with Fortune 500
Mhm.
companies and other brands that have been around for 50 years or 100 years. And they're disrupting the industry because they're coming in, they're creating content on TikTok and Instagram Reels, and they're building millions of followers and customers in the side hustle, for lack of a better word. I mean, they're building this little brand that's now turning into a big disruptor for these bigger industries and bigger brands that we all grew up with. And the way that they're doing that, in the way that any business could do it if they do it right, is they're putting out really good content and they're doing a lot of it, and they're building a community and a following and a customer base that would have taken those older brands decades or certainly years and a lot of money, millions and millions and millions of dollars to build. Now you can do it for quote unquote free because you can go create your own content on these channels that are free and build your own base. And that's never been done before. It's never been allowed. There was nowhere to do it, right? You had to buy newspaper ads. You had to buy TV commercials.
Right. Yeah.
Now you
Been
can,
there.
now you do it on Facebook. Yeah, exactly. My
My,
family was all entrepreneurs. That's how they did it.
yeah, it's, my favorite story of that exact example is Dollar Shave Club.
Yes.
Okay, he does that one video, the most hilarious video. Such a great, I mean, it literally looked like it took him like 10 minutes to film the video. Okay, but it
Right.
was perfect, just walking through, and like 4 years later, 4 years later, sold it for $1 billion to Lever.
Crazy.
Unbelievable. I'm like, I still get the blades. I have a lot. I'm still like the member, right, and everything. But I look at it,
Right.
I'm like, dude, that is like one of the great stories of
Mhm.
just that. Started literally with just a video. I mean, he had his stuff together and he's like, I'm doing this club and like part of something. He did all that, but a 4 year exit
Yeah.
for $1
Unbelievable.
billion.
And a unicorn exit at that.
Yeah. How
It's like,
about it? It's just, I'm just happy for him. I just
oh,
think
for
about the guy and I get
sure.
a smile. I'm like, dude, good for you. That is
Right.
so awesome. Like,
And only in this day and age. That's the
yep.
thing. Like you couldn't do that 10 years ago. You couldn't do that. I mean,
And
yeah.
he was almost 10 years ago when he started.
Well, it's true.
I
I should
think I'm
probably
trying to
start saying
think.
20 years ago.
Right. Doesn't this suck?
Time
Okay.
flies, right?
I'm saying, but
It's like, wait
I
a
think
minute.
it was. I'm like, dang, I've been,
It probably was, yeah.
yeah,
But my
but
point is you couldn't do it until recent times with social media and
exactly,
things like that.
exactly.
How are you going to
I
reach people directly, right?
Yeah, Dan, in 1990, 88, 89, I start building my business. Like you said, everything had to be print. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you want to get brochures made for a show I'm doing. It was thousands of dollars. Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was just like the money and you didn't know what would work.
Yep.
People go, "Oh, they did an article on this in this magazine on me. Oh, you must have got a lot of work from that." I go, "No, I didn't get any." Like, really? I go, "Well, yeah, it doesn't really work that way."
Yeah.
When they write an article about you, I think this is going to what you're saying about content. Like, it's really cool. I go, "You know where it makes me money? When I cut it out and put it in my portfolio." And I'm showing a potential client I'm published. I'm published. I'm a best-selling author. I don't sell books. I'm not getting rich off my books, but I built a coaching academy around it and I have authority. And then people pay me like you said, it's all to drive home that point of all this content and giving this stuff out there. People have to, it's the old know, like, and trust, but they've gotta, it's what does it go? It goes interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. Okay, like that's what you got to interrupt. That's that crazy video, the whatever what these kids are doing or whatever they're doing, and then they engage because people are talking, right? And then you educate. Here's more about it. This is what we do, blah blah. And then buy one get one free, whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever the deal is. Like it's kind of
Right.
simple in that sense, but a lot of people don't get that, and the ability to put that together. Most of that is no cost if you think
Yeah.
about it.
It's crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, to your point of print, my family back in the 80s and early 90s owned a retail store, a Ben Franklin store.
Oh,
Um,
seriously?
yeah,
Are they
which
still
that was
around in these?
no. I
Man, we
think
used
there's
to
a couple left in the country, but
used to go
not.
there as a kid. I used to go
Yeah.
as a kid.
You know what I love about this? Every time I drop that name, especially on podcasts, because it always comes up, that's the response I get.
Dude, it's
That your
yeah,
response is everybody's response. And I love that. And it brings a tear to my eye because that was such a special place for me growing up.
yeah,
I mean, I
dude.
lived there, Richard. I was there.
Man, we ride our
I
bikes,
go,
man. Park our bikes
ah,
outside, man. Go inside, like, yeah, that was cool. That was
that's it.
a unique time. Yeah,
It was such a cool upbringing. And it was a town of, less than 5,000 people and
hmm
just the quintessential Main Street
yep.
and all of that. But uh, the reason I started Flip Switch back then, we were a web design company when we started because nobody was doing websites cheap. Everybody was
Yeah.
charging thousands and thousands and thousands. Well, these small businesses couldn't afford that, right?
Uh-huh.
So how are they going to compete with the Walmarts of the world when you're the Ben Franklin and you are on Main Street America on a budget of 500 or $1,000 a month for marketing? It's like, how are you going
hmm
to compete with Walmart? Which ironically is why my parents and my family got out of it because they saw the writing on the wall with Walmart coming in 10 miles away.
hmm
And to this day, people drive 10 minutes down the road to Walmart and, don't shop. I mean, they still shop in town, but not as much, right? Not when you have a Walmart to go get things at that level. So my point is I started the company for that reason. I actually built it because I knew there was a need for small businesses to have the help that the big companies get, but I had to figure out a way to do it at a price that they could afford. So I built the company to do it at scale where we're making our money in bulk off of lots of clients instead of just off of a handful of big hitters. And I was told it wouldn't work and this and that, and here we are 13 years later. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
to our earlier point of what we were talking about though with scalability and marketing, just to give some more value to your listeners. Um, if I had to start right now, whether I had whether I had a service company of some kind or any kind of business, and I was doing great with social media or I was doing nothing with social media, regardless of where I was at on that scale, if I started today, I would immediately I'd carve out 30 minutes a day minimum to just make content. And I would put all my eggs into that basket because the way that search results are going to change, well, they're already changing because of AI. You almost had no choice. The days of sticking your head in the sand as a business owner and hoping that you'll still get business are gone.
Yeah.
We've seen that ship has sailed, and I tell people every day, like you're invisible. If you don't do X, Y, Z, kind of like the stuff we're talking about here, you are invisible, and you'll continue to be more invisible as search results become more answer oriented, right? So think about this: the only reason you have to go to some websites right now is to get information. Well, AI is bringing that information to your homepage, like to the search results. Gemini just brings it right to the top. You just, oh, there's the answer I need. I don't have to go find a website to get a recipe or, it's all right there.
Right.
So there's so much that's changed in just the last couple months, and I'm scared for business owners that don't take the leap and start putting
Yeah.
all their chips there.
Yeah. That's why I've got a real strong focus on this myself. It's interesting when you're talking about like when they found you, looked you up. By the way, I have built water features in Frankfurt, Illinois, just so you know.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Doesn't
So
surprise me. There's a lot of
yeah,
beautiful
love
homes
that.
around here.
I was North Shore, Chicago. That's my whole business was. So I went down
Okay.
south a bit in Wisconsin. Yeah, I did stuff all over the place. So, anyways, I was thinking about this, and then I started a podcast in 2020. I'm doing all that really great. Then this one, and then I was talking to my kids and about finding me. Like, yeah, no one knows me. I'm an unknown celebrity. That's what I would tell them. I'm an unknown celebrity. And then they'd look up my name and they're like, kind of couldn't find me. And then they go, oh, look, Dad, you're here. There's four pictures. If you little quadrant, there's a square for each picture of Richard Walsh. Okay. 3 of them are in black and white. Mine's in color. So it looks like Richard Walsh hasn't been popular for a while. But these were
That's
actors
funny.
and whatever. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
and so finally, like, oh, look, you show up now. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like in the bottom corner or something, And then I'm doing podcasts, and then they check again later, like, oh, look, now you're like in first place, and I go, this is an unintended consequence I didn't realize from podcasting.
Yeah.
I've been on hundreds as a guest. I've done hundreds as a host. So what's out there? Like to your point, content like
Yep.
crazy, like hour at a time. Like you're talking thousands. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. I'm like, that's
And it's
really
all searchable.
right. It's like this is really cool, and it comes up and videos come up with me now. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I got the YouTube channel. I got all the stuff though. I'm gonna be totally transparent here, Dan. I suck so bad at social media because I don't like it.
So do we.
Okay, but
We're
I
the
don't.
shoemaker whose kids had no
But
shoes. We're
yeah,
doing it for everybody else.
but I don't like it.
Yeah,
Like I don't.
I get it.
I get that it works, and that's why it's the only way it can work for me is if someone else does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have all the stuff, but and I want to ask you about this: the consistency. This is where it just kills me. I'm like, I just can't do this day in and day out. It's just it's drudgery.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, you and I didn't grow up with it. That's part of the
right,
problem, right?
right.
So like teens, 20s, somethings, even going into early 30s now, they grew up with it. So those business owners and marketing managers and so on, they're so used, it's just part of their day to day. Like if they're not on their phone, something's wrong. You know what I mean?
So
Whereas you and I didn't grow up with that.
this happened last night, so this is funny. So my daughter's got this like issue with her toe. Okay, like she's got to go to a doctor, find out what doctor to go to. I have this whatever, and she's like, "Well, you go online and then you do FaceTime and you show them your toe." She's like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing." I go, "Dude, like, what do you mean?" She goes, "I'm not doing that." I'm like, you take a picture of yourself like every 30 seconds. Like
Right.
it's kids. You're always taking a picture. You're snapped in, and you're not going to like show a doctor your toe.
Right.
You'd rather
That's
spend
funny.
an extra $2,000, like to go to like just show them your toe. So finally we talked her into it.
Oh man.
The doctor's like, that should have been taken care of a long time ago. You come in now, we'll take care of it. And done, finished, taken care of, problem
Yeah.
solved. But the whole thing, not one. I'm like, it's the mentality is kind of wild. And he's
Yeah.
literally selfieing all the time, taking
Right.
pictures, and everything else. But like,
Yep.
do that for I go, well, you're going to show it to him if you go there. I said, you were right here. Let's get this done. So
That's
I
true.
just thought it was funny. I just think about, just like me, I'm hating on it. I have Facebook because my office manager signed me up in '09 or '08 or something.
Oh, that's
Like
funny.
that's why I have it, and I used it. Don't get me wrong, but and I
Yeah.
have Instagram now and whatever. I have LinkedIn, I have YouTube, I have this stuff, and I put things
Mhm.
on it. But it's that consistency aspect, like all the time. I'm like, I'm weary. I'm weary, meaning like I'm literally like I'm just tired of posting another podcast, posting content. I'm like just my goodness, I
Yeah.
have all this stuff, but it's just the process. Like you said, I know
Right.
this one 30 minutes, man, created or posted or whatever, but I'm just telling you, I don't know if other owners are like that. If you find that in your business, but man, it's brutal. I'm just
That is I mean, you kind of just highlighted why Flip Switch exists in a
Yes.
nutshell. I mean, yeah, there's agencies have existed forever, right?
Hmm.
Um, the reason I think why Flip Switch has carved its own little niche here is because we do that micro kind of content, the day-to-day minutia that business owners hate. We handle that for them. So
Right.
I think that's part of it. But also the coaching, again, like if I gave you a list and it's like do this one thing or two things every day, and all you have to do is check that box and move on with your day, I bet it would be a lot easier for you. And
It would
that's
be.
what coaching does. But you've got
Yeah.
to get in the mindset first, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
So like, and here's a little bit of irony for you. Okay. I'm very much like a routine guy. Like my morning routine, my first 4 hours of the day, starting 4 a.m. It is routine, man. I have the super schedule. I mean,
You're definitely military.
I don't even wake up with an alarm. I wake up at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I
Sleeping in is
can't do
like
it.
4:01. Okay. And I get up without alarm. But I have a whole routine, everything to do, every step from hitting the head, brushing the teeth, to oil pulling, to what I mushroom coffee, to go to get to the gym at 5:30. I did that whole thing. So I guess if I could check two more boxes, I'd have to put them in the
There you
morning
go.
at the tail end and I'm good to go. But it is
Yeah,
overwhelming. Because
sure.
I you tend to look at the macro in this stuff. Again, all
Mhm.
the social sites, and you don't know, like you're saying, if you just dial it into one or two, because I always learned that you do want to master when you're doing it yourself. It's always like, well, master one first, one platform, and then move on to the other. Like, don't try to shotgun it and all that kind of stuff. So I can see that being effective, but I would lean way more towards the coaching aspect as a business.
Yeah.
If I truly had to do it myself, if I couldn't, okay, you can't afford to hire, Flip Switch, the Flip
Hmm.
Switch, right?
Yeah, flip switch.
All right.
Hmm.
If I couldn't do that, then what my next step is get the coach, right?
Yeah.
Bring them in and like let's do that, and
Yeah.
then hopefully that gets me traction that I can then hire them full time, and I can
Yeah.
stop doing that. So I'd like to see a little light at the end of the tunnel. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna
Right.
be stuck doing this forever, but let's make this work so
Well,
I can hire someone.
and the cool thing about Flip Switch, if I may say so, as the owner, is that we don't charge what other agencies charge because our pricing model is built on scale.
Right.
So, you know, those insurance companies out there, whatever they call them, where like it's like MetaShare, I think is the one,
Yeah.
where everybody submits their bills and then they just average it out and like
Mm.
everybody pays a certain amount. That's almost how we work if you kind of look at it like that. Like everybody's paying in, but they're all getting great service and nobody's paying double or triple or quadruple like they are with these other companies. So, um, I mean, I'll throw a price range out there for your listeners. We're probably for your service industry folks, especially, depending on the level of what we're doing and how much in all the platforms and stuff,
Mm.
between I'd say 1 to 3 grand a month is
Mm.
average, with the
Yeah.
majority of those probably being somewhere in the middle. But we have lots of clients that are $500 a month, 600, 700.
Mm.
And the coaching is typically 400 a month.
Yeah.
So so yeah, there's just a little commercial for Flip Switch, even though I hate doing that on
Yeah.
podcasts,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's you know, I
Well,
think
it's important. I
it's
think
good
it's
for people to
important,
know.
man. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
important because ranges is one thing I teach in business. Like, you ask someone their budget, I have no idea.
right,
Okay, yes, you do, but you don't. You have a budget, but you just say, well, typically that kind of work you're talking about ranges from here to here.
right.
It's a great qualifier.
Sure.
It's a great way to get off the phone or make a deal. Okay,
That's
it's
right.
important, right? Because otherwise they're kind of clutching their fist. So it's going to be 10 grand, and us that's only three.
Right.
Oh, I'm in. When can I start? Okay, so it's a good thing, but I think in all marketing, okay, and one of the best things I ever heard was a marketer, which is shocking. I'm just saying, okay, like it was this like blast of integrity. It was awesome. And she was saying, she goes, if you come to me and you've got your last, I don't care if it's 10,000 or $100,000, whatever, and you need it, you need marketing to save your company. She goes, I'm going to tell you, we're not helping you.
Hmm.
And she goes, what I'm going to tell you is you need to go knock on doors and sell,
Yes.
because this
Love it.
marketing is not your solution in this
Right.
situation because it's way too long term. It's a long game, right?
That's
Do you
right.
you agree with that? Okay, that's good because
Yep. 100%.
but like hearing that out of a marketer's mouth,
Right.
it's like
I
because I've
love it.
had yeah, it's so do I. I'm like, see, I'd hire that firm.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
that's funny. That's how we operate. That's very, very on par with how Flip Switch is. I built this business on integrity and honesty, and I will flat out tell people. I mean, I had a conversation with a guy yesterday. Said, look, this is not a get rich quick kind of thing, like marketing, because this is the magic question, right? With social media, it's like, well, how fast does it work? What do I get out of
Yeah.
it? Blah blah blah. It's like we are so many years into this by now. Do you not realize that it's just another part of your business that
Mhm.
you have to build out and takes time. Like still almost 20 years in on social media and people still think you can post one time and make
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
monthly payment, you know, or your
You know,
mortgage payment or whatever.
it,
It's like it just doesn't work that way.
it's even worse now.
It
Like there
is.
could have been a time that might have happened once in a while, but now
Yeah.
you forget it. Now you're gonna have like three people see it. You know, you're gonna
Yeah.
get nothing. So let me ask you, kind of going down that road, and there's no hard or fast thing here, but I always found in marketing, as a numbers guy, I want to track and measure and do things. Okay, I always want to track the ROI on anything I do. Okay,
Mhm.
anything I purchase when we get money, hire someone. What's my ROI on hiring this person who's working on my team? Right, I need this and that. So and we get it's a long game, but there's got to be what I have found, and just I'm just get trying to get clarification is it's not just a dollar amount ROI. Okay, I think there's different layers of ROI in marketing. Do you see that? And can you kind of
We
express that, like
do.
share that a bit?
So it's kind of funny that the joke, I don't know if it's an internal marketing joke or if it's kind of just become a thing in general, but like a lot of the time what we talk about for ROI is reach and engagement, like the
Mm-hmm.
metrics, right? Like, oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
reaching this many people. It goes back to like programmatic marketing that's gone on for 100 years. How many impressions does,
Yeah.
this TV commercial is going to reach 10,000 households in this, or, whatever. So I hate using that as an answer, but it's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely increase reach and engagement for every business. Like we don't have a single business that we've ever worked with where that hasn't happened. And when I say increase, I mean usually like 3 to 10x or even more.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're currently reaching 5,000 people a month on Facebook, we're going to reach probably 15 to 100,000 people a month, somewhere in that, department. Um, that's that's fine and dandy, right? That doesn't always translate to actual sales. So the money ROI question is harder to answer because so many things come into it. Um, Quality of the business, the service or the product they provide, the
Right.
cleanliness of the restaurant, the food quality, anything that goes into whatever the business is. Reviews is a big one. Do you have good or bad reviews? If you got crappy reviews and all we're doing is expanding that, now we're just showing more people your crappy reviews, right? So you got to kind of be realistic. So, and I always do this with business owners. I'm like, well, let's look at your business first. Let's see where you stand online. Do you have a 4+ star rating or a 1 star rating? Right? Like all those things we look at. But then when it comes down to it, and you want a final answer on like financial ROI, the way that some businesses you can't track it because they don't have any tracking capability, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. There's
Yep.
nothing to track, right? But for the ones that we can, whether it's a restaurant special that we're trying to drive, or an event that we're trying to fill seats, or ticket sales, things like that, or if we have a landing page on a website that we're driving people to, where we can say, okay, we sent 1,000 people there, 20 of them converted or took the next step, and then so you can build out that funnel and
Right.
track that funnel. If they don't have that kind of funnel in place, or there's nothing measurable and or I shouldn't say measurable, if there's nothing trackable on the back end, then we can't see anyway.
Right.
So some of it falls on the business owner or our help. It falls on us to help the business owner understand, like, hey, you need something here that we can track. What can we measure? What is something that they're clicking on or they're purchasing or they're signing up for or whatever that we can actually say, okay, we drove that result.
Yeah.
Without that, there's nothing, you
Yeah.
know.
It comes down to the CTA, right? Call to action.
That's right.
Like when you're like a long time ago, people talk about billboards. Yeah, put up a
Hmm.
billboard. Guys come as $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month for a billboard. And I remember the billboard guy telling me, he's like, "Well, we know how many eyes look at." And I go, "What are you talking about? Like you sit in the corner and you check people's eye glare?" Like I didn't
Right.
understand. I'm like, I think you're full of it. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think you
That's how many
know. I
people
said,
drive by on the interstate, right? Like,
yeah,
oh,
like I
this,
get that. Yep. And I had a store and
yeah,
40,000 people a day drove by the intersection and I
right.
killed it because I did the right thing on my store. I put waterfalls coming off the roof downside of
It's
the building.
awesome.
People are like, and I opened, I did $250,000 the first month. No one
Wow.
even came in. They just had to see it. I go, I got a sign with my number. I got these things coming on the line, and people just call. They go, "This is awesome." Okay,
That's
and this
great.
is like 2001 or something, But
Yeah.
when so billboards, I started going, okay. So I tried to figure out how do I track it. I said, okay,
Hmm.
for each billboard, I'm going to put a special code for the deal. Like if you want this, you say this. So if they say this, okay, that was at this road. That's this billboard. That's that
Right.
billboard. So they weren't all the same. I'm like, who's ever calling in with that code, you've seen that code or whatever. Like now I know it's working or not
Yeah.
working. Right. But
That's
I
right.
think I love that you say it's got to be trackable. There's measuring and there's tracking. Right.
Yes.
And being trackable, like I would almost think, and this is just a general question, like it'd almost be hard to do work for someone who didn't have that in place, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be hard to do? I get the do it yourself thing and coach them
Yeah.
to do that, but if they don't build those simple things, like you said, if you can't track it, you can't
Depends on
improve.
expectations
Yeah.
is what it
Okay.
really boils down to. So if we set the expectation like, hey, look, we're going to grow your brand. We're going to build reach, engagement, notoriety. People are
Okay.
going to see you.
Yep.
If that's the goal, then that's what we
Gotcha.
do. But if it's,
Gotcha.
hey, we want to sell more widgets, that's a whole different type of
Good.
campaign.
Good. Great. Great
And then
distinction. Thank you.
yeah, and it busts. We can break that down into organic content versus paid ads too. So
Mm-hmm.
organic content is the day to day that we're creating, send it out into the ether. The audience either resonates with it or they don't. The algorithms either pick it up and distribute it or they don't. Whatever happens, we can look at it and be like, okay, well, these videos average 1,000 views each, and then this one hit 20,000 or 50,000. Why is that? So then we look at it, we break it down and say, all right, well, it's because it has the face of the owner is on the first part of the video, like the cover of the video, so to speak, the thumbnail. And people like that and they know that person locally. So they clicked on that video more than the other videos. Or, you can start seeing similarities and different patterns. And then we take that data and use that to formulate the ads that we create. Because then we can assume that the ad is going to do better than it would if we were just trying to pour gas on the fire of any old piece of content, which is what everybody's done forever, by the way. I
Right.
had a meeting. The meeting I was at before this that made me late for our talk today, Richard, was actually with a company that does programmatic ads and OTT sales, all that kind of pre-roll stuff and everything for YouTube and all that. And one of the things we talked about was how they're big clients. They have big, big clients like name brand stuff that you use every day. Um, those companies sit in a boardroom or they have hours long meetings for months to come up with an ad strategy for a campaign to run for a month or whatever it is, or for maybe for the Super Bowl, for whatever it is, right? They're spending countless time and money and millions of dollars to create an ad that they don't even know if it's going to work or not. It's all speculation.
Right.
Whereas you and I, smaller business owners especially, we're fluid. We can do something day to day and know if it works immediately. So that's what we do for our clients. We're creating content. We scale it up. We do a lot of it, see what works, what doesn't, take the stuff that works, repeat it, and then at some point maybe put money behind it to really target people with it to get clicks or to get some type of actual call to action. Um, but that's not how it's been done for the last 100 years for the most part. And even today, I mean, how many TV commercials do you watch? You don't watch many, but when you do watch one, they're garbage, right? Like they don't,
Yeah.
nothing memorable. And the ones that are
Fair.
memorable, I mean, even those are hard to remember. Like I'd have a hard time telling you one right now that I've heard or seen in the last 6 months.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Super Bowl is the only time you watch them.
Yeah. I don't watch those either. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
You know what I used to do with my kids? We'd watch because I'm a big homeschool guy, so I'm homeschooling my 6 kids and everything. And if something was not the commercials are the only things I paid attention to because we're working on a critical thought process.
I
So I
like
make
it.
them walk through the commercial. Now, does it really mean it's the best ever? Is it really? What's the real agenda here? Can you pick out the agenda?
I love
You know,
that.
and we do that all the time, and they probably, Dad. And I'm like, well, this is the best part of TV.
Right.
this is
Right.
this is
I'm going to start
we
doing that.
learn
My kids are
something,
going to hate me, but
yeah, you just start going,
yeah,
well, what are they really saying? What are they really pushing? It's not the detergent, is it? No, it's this agenda, it's this, and you just start doing
yeah,
that, right? Especially as
I
of
love
late,
it.
last few years, you can see a lot of that stuff. So I always try to turn the game that way. And for some reason, whatever, since I was a kid, like the commercials were always like my thing I was interested in, which is
Interesting.
weird. I mean, I became an entrepreneur, but I always saw that, like, I always found that fascinating.
Yeah.
And I don't, and it's not like I have a short attention span, so they don't. But like that, they were always like engaging or whatever. I'm like, well, what is that? Like,
Yeah.
how are you selling something? Because I'd be knocking on doors selling seeds as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, here, want to buy
Oh,
a
I
fertilizer?
sold rubber bands and paper
Right.
clips and
Yeah,
stuff.
we did it all, right? So I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I'm selling. This is selling. I want to, man. But I also remember the great saying about advertising in general is half of my advertising doesn't work. I just don't know which half.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
right.
So what a
I love that.
classic.
Yeah. It's a
So
good one.
that's billboards. Okay.
Yep.
No,
I use the billboard analogy a lot with people. I'm like, why do company, when we talk about brand and building brand, I'm like, why do people spend money on billboards? Nobody's pulling off the side of the road to sign up for Verizon when they have AT&T because they
right.
saw the billboard. It's just drip, 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 drip
Yeah.
forever in
Yeah.
perpetuity until you're ready to make a decision. And then
Yeah. And then,
you might
and,
call them.
and Dan, it seems like it's a massive investment. It's
Oh, it's
unobtainable for a lot of small, mid-sized businesses.
for sure.
They just don't operate that way. And that's why, like, talking to you is really cool because you're showing, like, from even that small, just how specific you can be
Mhm.
and test and get organically and pay, and you work that and you can shift again. This is back to that level playing field stuff. Like, you
Yeah.
have the opportunity. Don't think because you're not that, you can't, like, dude, you can kill it. You really
Well,
can get in and make a difference.
great example. Facebook groups. Service industry people, especially if you're listening, you should be living in Facebook groups for your
Mhm.
communities that you serve. Some of them you can be in as the owner, some of them you can be in as the business. The ones that you can be in as the business, be in as the business, but or do both. But definitely one way or the other, you need to be in all those Facebook groups. One, because that's where people are asking for recommendations for what you do. Plumbing, heating, air, like all of it, right? Roofing. The other reason is because it's a massive social listening tool. You can now watch what people are looking for, how they're responding, who your competitors are that are responding the most. It gives you data that you can't get anywhere else and an immediate capability to message or to comment on that potential buyer who's, I mean, they're literally asking for business. You can't get a warmer or hotter lead than that. So that's one of those things that's the Coca-Cola level, the giant
Right.
companies of the world, they're not doing that, right? They're not in the local things doing it. But if I had my own like healthy beverage company that I'm starting and I'm going to the farmers market here in Frankfurt on Sundays and I'm selling this beverage, I'd be in all those Facebook groups talking about stuff. Not even my product. I'd just be in there just hanging out, chit chatting, talking about, oh,
Mhm.
cute dog picture, cute, whatever. But building brand and doing it at a micro level while it's growing and one
Mhm.
sale at a time, selling a bottle of my beverage
Yep.
until I get it. And that's the thing that the big companies don't do and can't do really because it's too small for them. But that's how these teens and 20 somethings with TikTok are selling millions of dollars of gummy worms or whatever that one kid's got. I forget what the thing is. There's like some product that is now like a major thorn in the side of Sour Patch Kids. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen this. Like this kid made it. Like he's got 2 million followers or something. He's making, and now he'll probably get acquired. He'll get bought out
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
he's a pain in the butt for these companies.
Yep.
So it's just interesting that business owners don't put all their eggs in that basket. It
Yep.
fascinates me that they don't go all in. because there's so
You
much
know,
room for growth.
you know what else it does too, which they don't, because they're not looking strategically, like you said, down the road, is all that farmers market and this and the community that builds story brand.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Oh, for
builds the
sure.
story of the brand. And like that is like I had like I'll see a product like what was the name of it? I think it's called Boulder chips. They're a potato chip. But they got
Hmm.
like avocado oil and they got like a spicy green chili. Oh, and they're phenomenal. But like, what is this brand? Like you
Hmm.
don't know, but they're exceptional, right? So
Yeah.
you always remember, like, I'm not eating Lay's. Okay, they suck.
Right.
Okay, that sounds terrible, but they're huge and everything. And pardon me,
Sure.
we have a Frito Lay plant in my town. Okay, so I'm totally throwing them under the bus, but I'm saying like you get these niche brands, these boutique brands
Yeah.
that like build and they get a following that's unbreakable,
Hmm.
right? And then that
That's
grows.
right.
What's
They
the
built community.
is it Dottie's the pretzels? I
Hmm.
think they're out of North Dakota. They built that little family recipe and they built that phenomenal. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like they went from like making them in the kitchen, going local, local, local. Then eventually that stuff just grows. And today it's the whole, I'm going to air quote kids today. They want to be discovered, not developed.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't want to go through all that work. They don't understand that every overnight success only took 10 years,
Right. Well,
So
and you know why that is though, Richard? It's because
social media.
they don't have to.
I know.
It's a crazy
Stop.
thing. They don't
Don't
have
say
to
that.
anymore.
I know it's.
For what
Oh, yeah,
it
I know. I know.
it sucks
Oh,
for people like us to hear it, but that's just the way it is. Like
yeah.
you can start tomorrow and build a brand in no time and sell $1 million worth of something if it's a good product and you have good content.
Yeah. That's
That's it.
that's
It's
it. That
crazy.
it's encouraging though, Dan. It
It
really
is.
is.
It's
It
interesting
is
for sure. It's really fun to
because
watch.
because I would love to see more people be entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
And it's the probability because 97% of all new businesses fail in the first 5 years. I
Yep.
used to give these webinars and talks. I said, and I'd show a picture of the Navy SEALs carrying the boats on their head. You got a better
Hmm.
chance of becoming a Navy SEAL than you do succeed in the business. They only fail 90% people.
Funny.
So it's just like, you got to understand,
That's
like,
something.
it's hard, but man, if you can shorten that, well, that's what we do as coaches, right? We shorten a learning curve, we compress time.
Yeah,
So it's all about
that's
time
right.
compression. But like you're saying, with the tools that are available today, to be able to do that kind of stuff is really amazing.
Yeah.
And I just encourage people to listen to that stuff, man, and take that to heart and like get out there. And regardless, if it takes you a year and a half, it's going to be one of the most difficult year and a half you've had. Like it's never
Well,
easy. It's not,
what's the alternative?
exactly
What's the alternative, right? Like and I
working for the
tell our
man.
clients all the time, if you're not retiring in 5 years or less, if you're not already on your way out and you plan on being in business for the next 3 years to whatever, right?
Right.
What are you doing? Like you better start now if you haven't already, because you're going to get passed up real fast.
Yeah.
Especially, it's interesting that we're talking about this right now with your, having a predominantly kind of service and trades type of audience, because they just did this study. I don't know if you saw this, it came out. There's an inverse correlation between jobs that will be eliminated by AI
Mm-hmm.
and the amount of income of the job that will be replaced. So the more money you make, or the higher level of prestige, so to speak, there is in the job, the more replaceable you are.
Right.
The lower income, or the less prestige there is in the job. So even if you make a lot of money, but you're swinging a hammer to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? That doesn't have that sexy appeal. Those jobs are the
Mm-hmm.
least replaceable. So
That's
all these
right.
people with these MBAs and all this stuff, no offense to anybody with an MBA, I'm just saying like those are ironically the
Buckle
first
up.
jobs that are supposed to be replaced.
Yeah. I call it, my blue collar is the new white collar. They're going
That's
to be
it.
the new wealthy. And my
Yes.
whole job working with them, coaching them is to prepare them for scale.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's it.
not, you can be here, but like there's going to be a massive need for what
Mhm.
you can deliver. And we're already short on tradesmen. I drive around our
Right.
town. We do a lot here. And I look at the construction crews, of course, right? And I see them.
Hmm.
Rarely, if ever, see anyone under 40, 45 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a
You're right.
problem, right? So
Hmm.
and we address a lot of that stuff here. We got some big corporations and everything else here working on that, trade stuff. And it's really fascinating. But yeah, those are called durable trades. Been around
Hmm.
forever, probably will be. But I'm telling you, it's the new white collar.
For
Like you
sure.
can do this stuff. It's unbelievable. The potential. And if you don't see that now, like I said,
Yeah.
from a business owner standpoint, just like you're saying about marketing, using these tools and putting this, you've got to prepare right now for that expansion. Like you're not going to have a choice but to grow or be
Yeah.
swallowed up. You know,
No, you're right.
we'll be
That's
swallowed up, and I don't mean in a good way, like someone's going to acquire your company. I mean you're going to be eating the crumbs of
yes,
my clients who are prepared to scale. So you're gonna wither and die. That's
that's right.
just the nature of it. Sorry to be
Yeah,
harsh,
it's
but I'm not sorry.
no, I feel like I'm always the bearer of bad news or the um, whatever you call it, the bringer of death, so to speak.
Yeah,
When I
but
have these conversations, it's like,
yeah,
you
Dan,
know,
but you don't win by looking back. You just
it's
don't. You have
true.
to take ground. You have to be looking forward. It's all strategic. We have to see the entire war board. Okay, we got to look down. We got to see everywhere we need to go, and then how do we get there? And here's the other challenge: I can't do a 5 year plan. It's totally irrelevant by year two,
That's true.
right?
Yeah,
So we look 18 to 24 months ahead. That's it.
yeah,
That's the best that we can do. Like you were talking with AI, like by the time this comes out, and you're right.
mm,
Even the inventors of AI were expecting 3 months, and it was 3 weeks.
yeah. That's right.
It's just mind-boggling what we're dealing with here, and it's the same thing in business. So we don't
Mm,
spend time on where we want to go in 5, 10 years. We're like, where are we going next year?
yeah,
Year after that. Like that's as far as we can look. But the strategy aspect is going to get us there, poised to go the next 2 year jump, right? And that's how we have to look at it because it keeps us
right.
sharp, it keeps you innovative, keeps you looking for companies like yours, right? Who can come in and like, okay, these guys, if we start this now, 8, 10, 12 months from now, man, we're killing it.
Right.
We've got the content going. We know how to pivot. We're testing our stuff, and now we're seeing the ROI, right? Because
Yeah,
we're seeing the movement in our business that's cumulative from that and other things they do, performing great service, experience, all that kind of stuff. So I love this.
sure.
I
No,
just
that's well put, well stated. I think that the biggest thing that people are missing right now when it comes, you mentioned consistency earlier, and I think it's a mindset that there's two big mindsets I'm seeing right now when I'm out in my day-to-day endeavors. One is that AI is just a fad, or it's the next kind of like, okay, it's here, it's coming, blah blah blah, but it's not like people don't get how big of a change it is and how big of a deal it's going to be. It's going to make the internet and social media and Google and all that stuff that we have had for the last 20 years look like child's play.
that's
As
right.
far as like a disruptor, right? If you remember when the internet came around, it's like, oh my gosh,
Hmm.
this is the craziest thing ever. And then now it's just like, what would you do without it? You wouldn't even
Hmm.
think about a life without internet. When email came out, people were like, this is stupid. Why would I send a letter to somebody? I could just mail them. I remember those people having those conversations. Now it's like email's everything, right? You don't communicate without it. Well, AI is going to be that, but a lot more. It's going to be integrated into everybody's lives in a way. I mean, they sell refrigerators right now. You can go to Best Buy right now and buy a fridge that watches what you take out of the fridge and put into the fridge and makes the
Hmm.
list for you. It's everything. It's everything. And business owners are not ready for it. And I feel like we're doing it all over again, where they're sticking their head in the sand and uh, they're not going to be ready. So that's one of the big things I see. Um, go ahead.
I I came up with that refrigerator idea in the 90s. Using barcodes, I wanted to be able to measure everything that you had
Funny.
to create
Yeah,
shopping lists and all this kind of stuff. Because doing all this fitness stuff, like, man, that'd be cool. It gets down to a certain level, you got to reorder and do all that. I'm always
that's
ahead of my
cool.
time. I just can't capitalize.
Yeah, well, the
Oh,
technology is not there yet, right?
well,
Like
it wasn't.
when,
It was starting to be, and I knew
mhm,
some guys who were doing some really high end stuff. I'm like, that'd be really cool. Not really a priority at that time for most
yeah,
people. They didn't care, but you're
right.
exactly right. That kind of stuff is where AI is going. Everyone's going to have their own personal assistant. AI.
Yeah,
I say, book me there, book me this, book me that. It's going to do it.
yeah,
And
you
it's
can
because
already. That's the crazy thing. Like we can
I,
already do that. That's
I
what's
had,
nuts.
I had the guy who created a full AI search engine called Platypus. Okay, it's all
Hmm.
AI agent driven. I mean, it's like, and we had a great conversation on what's coming, what can be, and it's
Mhm.
just they're going to be the irreplaceable tool.
Yeah,
They're going to be that
that's it.
thing that of everyday life that everybody is using, and it's way beyond, hey Siri, do this or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's like archaic
Yes.
already. It
And it
almost
already
was.
is. That's
Yeah,
what's,
it
yeah.
was like a year if it came out. But I was talking to
Right.
one of the main researchers for that, for Stanford and all that stuff. Same thing. He's saying, yeah. Then he did the AI voice and the articulation and really, and like what they're doing. And this was in 2017, which is like 100 years ago in AI
Hmm.
talk. Okay,
Yeah.
like the stuff now, I'm like, it's so fascinating. But man, it's a tool that again from a durable trades, that kind of stuff, you can start applying this stuff in your business to do amazing things. That's what's going to help you scale and
For
deliver better
sure.
service. People don't
For
think about
sure.
that, but you can serve people better utilizing these tools, and cross right over into marketing, right? And
Oh,
you can
absolutely.
convey all of that. It's amazing, just amazing.
From chat bots um, to just email, the way that you communicate with your customers or prospects or
Yeah.
past customers that haven't reached out in 5 or 10 years, all of the stuff, the automation that's capable now and possible is amazing. And
Think of this, the ability to train your people.
oh,
You talk about
I
systemizing and doing that. They can literally
sure.
verbally walk them through the whole process and it's just, I'm telling you, I get all kinds of excited.
I
And
do too. I think it's the coolest thing ever.
I've never been like the early adopter. I
Hmm.
mean, if you do it now, you're still technically an early adopter in
For
AI.
sure. Nobody's
But
doing it.
I'm seeing things that I'm bringing to people and they're going, oh, I didn't even think of that. They go, the
Yeah.
app, like, well, look what we can do. I'm like, let's do this now. For my
Yeah.
clients, get all the first dibs. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it's
We're gonna
so
put it out. It's awesome. It's awesome.
that's so funny. We are having I just had that conversation this morning with those guys I was talking about. I said,
Yeah,
our flip switch clients we're positioning them to be
that's it.
leaders in this area because nobody
Yeah,
else is doing it.
that's right, man. It's so. I love seeing into the
And when I
future.
say nobody, I mean nobody. That's the crazy thing. Like
I
I'm not
know.
being it's not hyperbole. I don't know a single business personally, and I know a lot of businesses. I don't know a single one that is actually using AI in any capacity.
Boom.
Most of them aren't even using ChatGPT and stuff like that on their own personal time, let alone as a business. They've done nothing
So,
with it yet.
so I'm like, it, and I'm just gonna say this as we wrap up here. If you will embrace this, okay, you will, you will send your competition into extinction.
That's it.
I'm not. If you think I'm not even being dramatic,
Not at all.
because like I said, like
Ye-
with you, they will live on your crumbs, the stuff
Yeah.
you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
like I
even
don't
if it
think that works.
No, you're right. And even if it's not internal processes, even if you don't do that, just from a marketing and sales perspective,
Mm-hmm.
if you tighten up and start using AI to dominate the marketing space, your competition won't, and therefore they're invisible.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone can eliminate, and then you can build process inside, you can do all that kind of stuff. But man, from a sales and marketing perspective, if you're the leader in this, forget it. It's
And
done.
and understand, they'll never catch up because you
Probably
have the
not.
mindset of using the next thing. They'll
Right.
never catch up.
Yeah.
Like I said, they will eat the scraps from your table, and I just
Yep.
like saying that.
I love it.
Here's some crumbs for the dog.
I love it.
But Dan, this has been just spectacular. And I
Yeah, a lot
love
of
it when
fun.
I can have a lengthy conversation about marketing because I got to say,
Right.
I don't bring a lot of marketers on, okay? Because they're not hitting the right points, if you know what I mean. So
Sure.
this has been just super enlightening, and I really appreciate all the time today. Any final last words, takeaways? How do people get in touch with you? All that great stuff that they want to get working with you.
Well, I appreciate it. You can find FlipSwitch pretty much anywhere. Website is flipswitchsocialmedia.com. And I'd be happy to offer some free consulting, like an audit of sorts, kind of look at everything, give you a rundown for anybody that's listening to your podcast and reaches out and says, hey, I heard you on Sharpen the Spear. Um, you know, whatever. Just let me know that you've heard us on there
Cool.
and I will make sure that we take care of you. So
Awesome. Super generous, Dan. I appreciate that. And guys, take advantage of it. I always say this when my guests offer you something for free, if it's an audit, people do it, like, just take advantage of it. Start somewhere. You've got to continue the forward movement. And something like this, if you haven't gained that, that's incredibly valuable from this. There's no helping you. There's
We
just no
can't help
helping you.
Right. We beat that horse to death.
That's right. So we've given all we got. So with that, Dan, thank you again for being here. And for everybody else, we will see you on the next STS podcast. Thanks for tuning in to Sharpen the Spear podcast. If today's episode helped you think sharper, act smarter, or see new profit potential, do me a favor. Share it with a fellow home service owner and leave a quick review. Ready to find the profit hiding in your business? Head to sharpenthespearcoaching.com and book your free profit discovery call today. And until next time, keep sharpening.